Okay, so for tonight's homework, we're working on all the problems for block one, my class. This is due tomorrow. For the other classes, it's due on Wednesday. All right, we're looking at division by decimal, division of decimals by whole numbers. We are doing all the problems, so let's look at number one. And I have 4 goes into 4 decimal point 24. Then I move my decimal up here and then cross that out because it's not gonna, I don't need it anymore. I've already moved it into my quotient. Then I need to ask myself, how many groups of 4 can go into 4? Or if I have 4 ones, how many will go into each of those 4 groups? And that'll be great. Or you can think of it this way, 4 times what? And I'm gonna write the word close to. So I know that it's 1. So it's 1 times 4 equals 4, and subtract that out, and it's 0. Then I'm going to bring down the 2. Well, that's going to end up being nothing because 4 times something equals 2. Well, that doesn't exist because I know that 4 times 1 is 4. There's no way I can get to 2. So I'm just going to cross that out, and it becomes 0. Then I'm bringing down again, and this will be 24. So now 4 times what will get me close to 24? And that's right, 6, because I know that 6 times 4 equals 24. And I'm going to subtract that out, and it's 0. So the quotient is 1 and 600. So I'm going to place that over here, 1 and 600. Let's go to number 2. Let's see if I need this here. There we go. That's much better. So number 2, I have 5 goes into 3 and 25 hundredths. I'm going to follow the same concept, moving my decimal up. So I'm just going to remove that one there and think of it as a whole number, or I can erase it if you want to. That's fine too, so that it doesn't bother us anymore. 5 cannot go into 3. Remember, it has to be equal to or larger than my divisor. If you forget, then it's just 5 times some number equals 3. Well, 5 is the lowest one, so 5 times 1. So there's nothing that can work. So I'm going to place a 0 here. Then I'm going to extend this over to 32. So 5 times some number equals, and remember, this is going to be close to, without going over, 32. So 5 times 5 is 25. I can keep going. 5 times 6 is 30. Well, that's super close, right? 5 times 7, that's 35. Bang, it goes over. So 6 is the next factor. So 6 times 5 equals 30. I'm going to subtract that out. 2 minus 0 equals 2. 3 minus 3 equals 0. This is less than, I'm checking, it's less than my divisor. So now I'm going to bring down the next digit, and it's a 5. Now I'm going to have how many groups of 5 go into 5? Or 5 times what equals 25? Well, I know that 5 times 5 equals 25. And it's 0. So then the quotient is 65 hundredths. Okay, let's look at number 3. And what I'm going to do is put it on this side here. Remember, you have divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down, and repeat. Okay, so there's our acronyms to help us divide. So question 3. I have 9 that goes into 201 and 6/10. I'm going to bring up my decimal, and now I'm going to just erase this here as if it doesn't exist. So now it's going to look like 2016, but it's not. I know that I have a tenths here because of my decimal. I'm going to follow the same format. Can 9 go into 2? Well, if you don't remember, you have 9. Is there 9 times something equals 2? Nope, not at all, because 9 times 1 equals 9. So there's no way. So that becomes a 0. Then I'm going to move over and add the next digit. So 9 times what will equal 20? Oh, okay, 2. That's going to be closest to. And I'm going to write the word close to. 9 times 2 equals 18. 18, 19, 20, that's 2. And if you can check, I'm here. I'm going to do my check. It is less than my divisor. 2 is less than my divisor. So I'm going to bring down as next. That's 21. And then I'm going to repeat. Well, look at here what I've already have. 9 times what? This time it's 21. So it's still going to be 2. 9 times 2 is 18. I multiply that out. Next, I'm going to subtract. 18, 19, 20, 21, so that's going to be 3. I'm going to check. My difference is less than to my divisor, so I'm done there. And now I can bring down. And I'm going to repeat. Is there a 9 times something equals 36? Yeah, 9 times 4. If I know that 9 times 2 is 18, I'm doubling that up and it's 36. So then I have 4. 4 times 9 equals 36. Subtract that out and it's 0. So my quotient is 22 and 4/10. There we go. Question number 4. And I just flipped my page over because I like space for my numbers. 3 goes into 1 and 35 hundredths. Bring my decimal up. And now I'm just going to erase it because it's easier for me. If it's easy for you to cross it out, that's your choice. So you got to do what's best for your thinking. 3 cannot go into 1. Again, 3 times something equals 1. No way, because I have 3 times 1. That makes it 3. So that's not a correct answer. So there's nothing there. And remember, it's going to be close to, so it's 0. But if I extend it over and add another digit, now I'm going to have 3 times what will get me close to 13 without going over. It's close to 13. Well, 3 times 2 is 6. I can keep going. 3 times 3 is 9. I can keep going. 3 times 4 is 12. Very good. So that makes it 12. 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. And I'm going to go ahead and write my divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down, repeat. So I did subtract, my check, my 1 is less than my divisor, and now I'm going to bring down, and I'm going to repeat. 3 goes into 15, or 3 times what equals 15, and I know that it's 5, because 5 times 3 equals 15. Oops, I did not mean to put multiplication. I meant to put subtraction, because that's what I'm doing next. So I subtract it, and it's 0. So the quotient is 45 hundredths. Okay. Question 5. 7 goes into 117 and 6/10. Bringing up my decimal. I'm just going to go ahead and erase that part. 7 cannot go into 1 because it has to be equal to this or bigger, right? So it's less than 7, so it'll be a 0. But it can be an 11. 7 times what equals 11? And it's going to be 1. 1 times 7 equals 7, and then I can subtract that out. So it's 7, and then 8, 9, 10, 11, so that'll make it 4. Now that I've already subtracted, I'm going to check, is my difference less than my divisor? Yes, it is. So I can bring that down. Okay, and then I'm going to start over. 7 goes into 47, so 7 times some number equals 47. Well, 7 times 5 is 35. I can keep going. And I'm just going to shoot for the numbers that I know. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 7 is 49. That's too big, so it's going to be, and I'm going to write close to up here. 7 times 6 is 42, so I'm going to just bring that here. And that's as close as I can get. So I'm going to bring that here because it's above that 7. Write down my 42. I'm subtracting out now. 7 minus 2 equals 5. 4 minus 4 is 0. I'm going to bring down. And this is 6. And I'm going to repeat. 7 times some number equals 56. And so what do we have here? Right, it's going to be 8. So 7 times 8 equals 56. Subtract that out, and it's 0. So the quotient is going to be 16 and 8/10. All right, let's go to number 6. At any time, make sure that you pause this video so that you can just go step by step if you're confused. Once you catch on to it, I want you to pause it, work out the rest of the problems, and then come back to see if you were correct. All right, I'm just going to copy this one here at 9. And it's $25.11. I'm talking about money. It was money here, and I'll put it up here. Move my decimal up, and then I'm going to pretend like that this decimal doesn't exist. And I can think of a great story on this one. You know, the lunch bill came out to $25.11, and there was me and 8 other friends. So how much did we have to each pay? So that works out really great. 9 cannot go into 2. Remember that the first number needs to be equal to or greater than. It has to be, it cannot be 87654 because it'll be 0. It's got to be 9, 10, 11, 12 on up. So it's 0. But I do have a 25 when I add another digit in. So 9 goes into 25. So again, it's that concept of 9 times what equals 25. I'll start with 5. 9 times 5 is 45, so that's way too big. 9 times 4, that's 36, still too big. 9 times 3, that's 27, way too big. Not way too big, but still big. 9 times 2 equals 18. All right, well, that may work. So I'm going to put the 2 up here. That's 18. I'm going to subtract out. So 18, 19, 20, and then plus 5, so that's 7. I can check that my 7 is less than my 9, so I'm going to bring down the next digit, and I'm going to repeat. So 9 times what will get me close to 71 without going over? Well, I know that 9 times 8 is 72. That's too big. So I'm going to do the 9 times 7. 9 times 7 is 63. Subtract that out. I'll just regroup here just to show you how easy that was just counting. So now I have 11 minus 3, and that makes it 8. So that's 9, 10, 11. My 8 is less than my 9, so I'm ready to go to the next one, and that's bringing down. And I have 81, and I'm ready to repeat. 9 goes into 81, or 9 times what equals 81? Very good. 9 times 9 equals 81, and I'll subtract that out, and it's 0. Some of you, because you'll catch on and you'll do it here, you'll forget to work out the rest of this problem. Don't find yourself doing it, because what if you had a remainder and you thought that you were going to get it? So you want to complete and close out your equation. So this one's going to be $2.79 that each person needs to pay. Or I spent that much. I spent $25.11 on, I don't know, power ballers. How much did each one cost, and that it could do that way. So this is going to be $2.79. Let's look at number 7. I'm not going to have any room here on this page, so I'm going to go to the next page. This looks like it'll be easy. So I'm going to move my decimal up and erase this here. Okay, so I have to look at this 6. This number has to be 6 or more. It's not, so I'm going to put a 0. Now I'm going to put my pencil across, and it's 36 that I'm looking at. So 6 goes into 36 how many times? Same as 6 times what equals 36? Very good. It's 6. So 6 times 6 equals 36. Subtract that out. It's 0. Bring down my 6. 6 times what equals 6? 6 times 1 equals 6. So my quotient is 61 hundredths. Number 8. Three goes into 28 and 8/10. Okay, so since my divisor is 3, this has to be 3 or more, and it's not, so I'm going to place a 0. But I'm going to extend my bar over. I have 28. So 3 times what will get me close to 28? I'm going to write the word close to. Well, 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 8 is 24. Oops, that doesn't even look like an 8. I couldn't figure out what I wrote. 3 times 9 is 27. Oops, that will work out. So I'm going to put 27 here. So I know that that's that. 9 times 3 is 27. I bring that down. Bring down my 1 and 18. Okay. 3 times what will equal 18 or close to it? Yeah, very good. It's going to be 6. Bring in my decimal here. 6 times 3 is 18. Subtract that out, and it's 0. So 8 is 9 and 6/10. And let's look at the last problem, number 9. Bring my decimal up. I'm going to erase. 6 cannot go into 2 because this is smaller. It has to be 6 or bigger. So I'm going to put a 0. Extend this over. 6 goes into 24. Very good. That's 4 times, because 6 times what will get me to 25, close to 25. You said it was 4, because 6 times 4 is 24. I regroup. 5 times, actually I subtracted out. 5 times 4 equals 1. Bring down my 2. And now 6 goes into 12, or 6 times what equals 12? And it's 2. And the answer is 42 hundredths. All right. That's quite a bit, but I want y'all to practice on that one. All right, let's take a look at question 10. We're going to write the unknown number for each gray square. All right, so the first one, to find the dividend, remember we're going to multiply the quotient times the divisor, and that'll equal the dividend. So here, let me just move over. So this is our problem right here. Let's see if I can enlarge that a bit. There we go. So I'm going to multiply that out. So this is going to be 3 4/10 times 9. Now remember, I'm going to move it out one place value, one or decimal place, and then I'm going to move it back in one decimal place. 9 times 4 is 36. Good job. 9 times 3 is 27, 28, 29, and 30. Moving it in one spot. So my my dividend is 30 6/10. Okay, so I showed this to some kids in class. I'm going to actually do this on paper. I'm going to write this problem out. I have 84, and I did this for third block. 84 8/10 divided by, and it gives me a square, and they said it equals to 10 6/10. The first thing that kids wanted to do was, oh, if I multiply these together, that'll give me what my divisor is. No, it doesn't, because this makes your dividend bigger. Remember, this is the most you have. So if I sketch this out, just to let you know, because I can do fact families and show you, but this is the number that we're separating. If this was the number in each group, right, then could I represent 84 8/10 and have so many 10 16th in one group, 10 16 in another group, and 10 16 in another group? And how many groups would that be? So if you're wanting to, okay, repeated addition, right? Or you can divide it, because this is how many in as a group. So this is one way that you can do it. I'm going to have 10 6/10 plus 10 6/10. That's already 2, so that's 12. 1, and bring down my decimal. Still not quite there yet, right? So I'm going to add another 10 6/10 because it's repeated addition. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. 6, 7, 8, 1, and 0 is 1, 2, 3. Can keep going. I'm going to add another 10 6/10. That's 14, 2, 4. So that's right now I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4. That's already 4 groups. Can you already see what you've done? Yeah, so if you double this, I'm already at 4 groups. That means that 8 groups doubled would be 84 8/10. If you didn't figure that out just yet, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 10 6/10. I have another group, because this is the number of groups. This is how many are in each group. This is just one way of doing it. 10 6/10. It's 10, 2, 3. It's 53. So this makes it 5 groups. 10 6/10. It makes it 6 groups. I'm going to add another group because I can keep going. See where I'm headed to? 10 6/10. It's 12, 3, 4, 6, 7, 74. So that's 7 groups. Actually, I should have put the 6 here. This is why it's super important to mark these correctly. That's 7 groups. Okay, I'm going to actually bring this over here so it doesn't get confused. So I have 74 2/10 plus 10 6/10. So this is 8. This is what I have here, 4 and 8. So that's 8 groups. Because I know that 10 6/10 times 8 will equal 84 8/10. Another way of solving this that I was showing some kids. So here we had the repeated addition with the quotient to find out how many groups. The other way is if I were to reverse this and I have the total amount that I have, then I divide that to find out the number of groups. That's still division, right? So with some of the kids I've shown, it was 10 and 6/10 divided into 84 and 8/10. If you have a decimal in your divisor, you're going to move this to the right. Whatever you do to the divisor, you've got to do to your dividend and move that out and bring it on top. Okay, so now this doesn't exist. So this is going to be, we're going to actually put that, this is going to be, I'm so sorry. So now I have 106, so 106 times what will get me 848. So with the kids, I was telling them, what can you multiply by 6 that would give you an 8 in the ones place? So I had some kids said it was 3, because that's true, it's 18. But this will bring the 1 down because 3 times 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. And it won't give you what you need because, oops, it's not 4, it's 3. It's only 318. I need 848. So that doesn't work. So I'm going to. What is another number that you can multiply that's going to give you 8 in the ones place? So that was 3. Is it 4? 6 times 4 is 24. That doesn't work. 6 times 5 is 30. That makes it a 0. 6 times 6 is 36. That'll be a 6 in the ones place. 6 times 7 is 42. That's a 2 in the ones place. 6 times 8, there you go, is 48. I regroup my 4. You know that 0, bring down the 4 and 8. So that's how you can get your answer, where it'll be 8. So it's 8 wholes because your decimal's on the other side. Okay, so that was 2 different ways that we showed you how you can do it. Let's look at number 12. And on 12, it's just simple division, what we have been doing before. 7 goes into 30 and 87 hundredths. Bring my decimal. Erase that. 7 cannot go into 3 because it's got to be 7 or greater. But 7 times what will get me close to 30? And I'm going to write close to. Okay, I'm going to start with 5s because that's always easy. 7 times 5 is 35. Oops, a little big. So 7 times 4, there you go, will get me 28. So I'm going to subtract that from 30. And that leaves me with 2. And I'm going to bring down my 8. And I'm going to start again. 7 goes into 28. I already know that that's 4 times. That is 4 times. Sorry about that. 7 times 4, again, it's 28. Subtract that out. It's 0. Bring down my 7. 7 goes into 7 one time because 1 times 7 equals 7. And so the quotient is 4 and 41 hundredths. Where's my paper? And this is just 8. Okay, let's take a look at Abby and her friends. So Abby and her 7 friends had lunch at the neighborhood burger barn. The bill was $47.60. If they shared the cost of lunch equally, how much did each person pay? Okay, there's that word equally, shared, equally. Okay, what do I know? I know that there are 8 people, Abby and 7 friends. So 8 people total. And that their bill came out to $47.60. And then what's my author's purpose? To find, very good, how much each person paid. All right, so let's go ahead and divide that out. What's my equation? Very good, $47.60 divided by 8, because it's the money that I'm going to be sharing or splitting in half amongst the 8 people. I'm not going to split the 8 people apart and give it to the money. That doesn't make any sense, does it? A little weird. Okay, so now I have 13, and you said it was going to be $47.60. Divide that by 8 people, not 7. Remember, you forgot to include Abby if you put 7. So 8 goes into $47.60. 8 times what will get me to 47 close? Not 6, because 8 times 6 is 48, so it'll be 5. So this is 0. Subtract out, bring down. This is where my decimal goes. 8 times 9 is 72. 10 is 80, so this is going to be 9. I have 4 left over, and bring down my 0. 8 goes into 40 5 times. So everyone spent $5.95. Okay. Dion practiced the long jump. Now he jumped 3 500 meters, 2 7,400 meters, and 3 3/10 meters. What was the average length of Dion's jumps? The average means that you're going to add up all the numbers together and then divide it by the numbers that you added together. So the total numbers that you added together. For instance, this is what I know. I know that Dion jumped 3 5 meters, 3 500ths, 2 7,400 meters, and I know that he jumped 3 3/10 meters. I need to find his average length. So I'm going to go ahead and do 15 on this side. I have 3 5/10 or 500ths, 2 7,400ths, 3 3/10. Add those up. 5 plus 4 is, oops, I'm so sorry. There we go. That's where I'm at. 5 plus 4 is 9. 3 plus 7 equals 10. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So the total is 9 9/100ths. I added up 1, 2, 3 numbers, so that's going to be my divisor. So 3 goes into 9 9/100ths. 3 goes into 3. We're going to find out how many times. So 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 times 3 equals 9. 0. Bring down my 0. 0 goes into 0 0 times. And now bring down my 9. 3 goes into 9 3 times. So his overall average length was 3 3/100ths meters long. Okay, make sure I have that. Yep. All right, that was going to be on the first 14 problems. I'm going to make a part 2 for the back page. Those of you that are on the field trip tomorrow, this will be due on Wednesday, or you'll be able to work on it in class if you need to. And then those of you that are not going, you'll finish this up for tomorrow, whatever you don't finish tonight. All right, take care.